The ignited minds of the youth is the most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth and under the earth. Wow, just think about that for a second. That is a massive statement, and it comes from one of the most inspiring figures in history, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Welcome to this explainer, everyone. Today we're going to unpack the incredible power of the youth. And yeah, that means your power. We're diving into a really amazing Q&A session where Dr. Kalam just dropped some absolutely serious wisdom.
So what we're looking at today is essentially an ignited mind journey, a kind of life masterclass from Dr. Kalam himself. In this really famous, deeply personal interaction, students ranging all the way from 5th to 10th grade actually stepped right up to the microphone to ask him some of the most profound questions imaginable about life, society, and personal success. And his answers, honestly, they were pure gold. We're going to break down his responses right here, giving you a structured masterclass in life philosophy straight from the source.
Here's the agenda for our journey today. First, we've got the mantras of success. Then, we'll look at India's strength and weakness. After that, it's love, compassion, and gratitude, followed by national development, and finally, a step against corruption. All right, let's jump right in.
Starting off with Section 1, Mantras of Success, Building the Self.
So this whole framework was actually sparked by a 10th grade girl named Gayatri Mohan. She looked at Dr. Kalam's truly incredible journey to becoming president and asked him for his absolute best tips on how the next generation can become successful. And he gave her 4 brilliantly simple, completely non-negotiable rules. In fact, he actually had the student repeat them out loud, and you know what? I want you to do exactly the same thing right now, wherever you are. Ready? Repeat after me. Number 1, I will have a great aim. Number 2, I will continuously acquire knowledge. Number 3, I will work hard. And number 4, I will persevere. According to Dr. Kalam, if you just lock these 4 mantras into your mind, you are setting the ultimate foundation for success.
Moving right along to Section 2, India's Strength and Weakness, a Nation's Mission.
A 7th grade boy simply asked Dr. Kalam, what is India's biggest strength and biggest weakness? Now, notice the huge contrast in Kalam's answer here. He didn't talk about the military, he didn't talk about the economy. He said the nation's absolute greatest strength is its 600 million youth. Like our opening quote reminded us, an ignited youthful mind is literally the most powerful resource on the planet. But then look at the weakness, a nation without a mission. He explained that a country just dies if it lacks a unified mission or a purpose. And he connected this directly to us on a personal level too. Because just like a nation, an individual human life dies without a mission. You absolutely must have a purpose. Which really brings us to this incredibly beautiful moment in the session. A brilliant 5th grade boy stepped up to the mic and asked a question that is honestly so deep for his age. He asked, what is the true meaning of love, compassion, and gratitude?
And that takes us into Section 3, Love, Compassion, and Gratitude, the soul's virtues.
Now, Dr. Kalam didn't just rattle off dictionary definitions for these. He used really vivid, everyday stories to make these massive, abstract concepts feel deeply personal. First up, love. He defined love as the priceless affection we get from our parents. He told this student that you literally cannot buy this kind of affection, even if you had millions of dollars. It is completely irreplaceable. So here's a little homework for you from Dr. Kalam. Do something today to make your parents happy, because that is the truest response to love.
Then we get to compassion. Dr. Kalam shared this incredible anecdote from a flight he was on. He noticed 2 physically disabled children boarding the plane with their parents. And what happened next was just magic. Pretty much every single stranger on that flight sitting near them started actively encouraging and showing deep empathy to these kids. They just supported them without even being asked. That kind of active empathy in everyday life, that is exactly what true compassion looks like in action.
And that brings us to his final point in this trio, gratitude. To explain this one, he used a breathtaking metaphor. Just think about the sun and the earth for a second. For billions of years, the sun has provided radiation, warmth, and light to the earth, keeping every single one of us alive. And in all those billions of years, the sun has never, not once, asked the earth for a thank you. It just gives selflessly. Since the universe provides for us so endlessly, cultivating gratitude is a quality that absolutely must exist inside every human being.
So the crucial point here is taking these virtues and actually applying them to your own path. Right before discussing career choices, Dr. Kalam shared another flight experience, but this time with a highly successful businessman. The businessman told him, when you talk to kids, make sure you ask them, what is your passion?
Because too often, parents just dictate that their child has to be a doctor or an engineer or a manager. But what is your actual dream? Dr. Kalam stressed that a child's dream must always be respected. You really have to ask yourself, what are you doing and why are you doing it?
That brings us to Section 4, National Development, Focus and Impact. When a 10th grade girl who was actually planning to study biomaths to become an engineer asked how the youth can practically contribute to developing the nation right now, Dr. Kalam laid out a super grounded roadmap. His very first piece of advice was incredibly direct. He said, while you are a student, your primary job is your education, period. If you want to be an engineer or a scientist, you need to target above 90% and achieve academic excellence. Don't lose focus on that. But, he added, if you want to contribute on the weekends, do these things. Go to a crowded hospital and bring flowers or fruits to the lonely patients who don't get any visitors. Plant 5 trees, or if you have the means to do it, spend some time educating others. Massive national impact actually starts with these super small, localized acts of kindness built right on top of a foundation of your own personal excellence. During this same discussion, a student brought up the fear of brain drain. The fear that all the smart youth are just leaving for foreign countries. But notice the massive disparity in the numbers here. India produces roughly 3 million graduates a year. If 50,000 to 100,000 of them move abroad, honestly, that is just a tiny slice of the pie. He didn't see this as a problem at all. Instead of a crisis, he viewed it as a totally natural, healthy exchange of global knowledge. Young people go abroad, and eventually, that knowledge and those people flow right back.
So instead of worrying about stopping people from leaving, Dr. Kalam argued that the real solution is building magnificent, world-class research laboratories right there within the country. Think about it. If you build incredible facilities, you don't just keep your own talent, you actually attract top-tier scientists from all over the globe to come and do their research locally. It's a total win-win.
All right, let's look at Section 5, A Step Against Corruption, the Youth's Ultimatum.
Remember that 5th grade boy who asked about love and compassion? Well, his dream was to become an IAS officer specifically to remove corruption. This prompted Dr. Kalam to lay out a really fascinating mathematical, localized solution to one of society's absolute biggest problems. He started with the massive population of India, over 1 billion people. Now, that number feels impossibly large to fix, right? Like, where do you even start? But watch how he breaks it down.
Those 1 billion people, he noted, live in approximately 200 million individual households, typically with a mother, a father, and a few kids. So right there, we've gone from 1 billion individuals down to 200 million family units. And now, here is the staggering statistic Dr. Kalam shared. Out of those 200 million households, it's estimated that about 60 million of them have someone involved in corruption. 60 million homes where corrupt money is flowing in. That's wild. So how does a nation actually fix that? Is it better government policies, more police? Well, Dr. Kalam had a very different idea.
He delivered this absolutely brilliant ultimatum. If children refuse to ride in cars bought with corrupt money, corruption will have. Just imagine that for a second. If a father brings home money through corruption to buy a car or a scooter, and his own children look him right in the eye and say, "Dad, we will not ride in that car. We are not going to support this," what could that father possibly say? By holding their own parents accountable inside their own homes, the youth actually have the power to slash corruption in half practically overnight. It all starts at home. And that perfectly ties everything we've talked about together. From having a great aim and persevering, to showing compassion for strangers, to holding your own family accountable, your mind is literally the most powerful resource on Earth. So as we wrap up this explainer on Dr. Kalam's masterclass, I want to leave you with this one question to really think about. Are you ready to be an ignited mind? Take these lessons, apply them to your own life, and just see what you can build. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey, and I'll catch you next time.